What's up, guys? Matt here from Generation Tech, and this week we're talking about our home office setups. Stay tuned.
Generation Tech, the weekly videocast for your inner geek, bringing you the hottest tech news from around the world. Brace yourselves, the show's about to start. It's Generation Tech. Here's your hosts, Rich Nieto and Matthew Burrows.
And again, welcome to Generation Tech. It's episode 29, and we're going to be going over our office setups, as Matt mentioned. But Matt, how was your break? Your Thanksgiving, your Happy New Year, and your Merry Christmas? How was it all?
It was thankful. It was good. It was good. I got a lot of good stuff. We had a nice 2 weeks off of school, and I know you got 2 weeks off of work. So we pretty much just gamed and slept and didn't sleep, and we pretty much just flipped our sleep schedules. That was our whole main goal, I guess.
It was a mess. But yeah,
it was a rough week.
Yeah, so last episode we talked about what we got for Christmas, and on this episode we're going to be talking about all the stuff, the stuff that we got for Christmas, and it's going to be implemented in our setups. And we, as you guys may have saw, we uploaded new home office tours for 2015, and they went up on the January 1st at midnight. So, that's. They're about 20-minute videos. We didn't want to go too in-depth on them. But now we're going to go nitty-gritty into every little detail for the most part. And a lot of stuff in Matt's setup has been changed. So we're going to make note of some of those changes from his setup just from a week ago to today. Yeah. And not too much has changed in mine, but I just want to talk about some of the stuff that's going on in this room. And then we'll also talk about stuff we're going to be planning for the future of our rooms. So I think we should just dive right into this.
Okay, so as you guys can see, this my first picture, right? That's what we're on. Okay, so my setup has changed. If you guys have seen my room tour, if not, go check it out, and you guys will see the contrast if you compare the two. But yeah, I've pretty much moved my setup from one view to the other, making use of the inside of my hutch. And as you guys can see, I have the three monitors there. The right one primarily used for my PS4. That's all I use it for. And then I have the two on the right, which one is my MacBook, which we can go over the specs real quick. So it's a late 2013 15-inch MacBook Pro Retina. It has 16 gigs of RAM, 500 gig SSD, a GTX 750M, that's what it is, and graphics card, and Core i7 quad-core CPU.
Beast.
But yeah, so that's kind of the hub of my system, which you guys are seeing here. And then if you guys are wondering, I'll go over quickly. I have the Blue Spark microphone, which you guys can see. That's that big orange thing right there in the center. And behind that, I have my PS4 and my Audio Engine A2s, which are awesome speakers. Definitely recommended for a smaller setup, but they still want good quality audio. And then I have my 24-inch monitor back there.
So yeah, a couple of notable changes from your home office tour video. You used to have your monitor and your laptop on the right side of your desk. Now you have it on the left side. What's your reasoning for that exactly?
Well, I pretty much like using the hutch because that's kind of its classic purpose. And then I have, obviously, with most desks, they come with a keyboard tray, which not a lot of people like, but I enjoy it because it's right at this comfortable angle with my armrests. And then I have my mouse off to the side there. But it's a really comfortable view. And even though the mouse or the keyboard and the display isn't lined up 100%, it's still very comfortable to use. And the two monitors now that I can use because I have a bit more space, it helps a lot with my day-to-day stuff, like watching live streams right now. I'm monitoring the chats and other things.
Yeah, I was going to mention, now you can actually make use of your laptop as a secondary monitor, whereas before you just had your 24-inch screen as your only monitor, which, it kind of sucks when you're used to a dual display setup and you go back to one. It's tough to deal with, right?
Yeah, for sure. I was definitely making use of the Magic Mouse with its capability of getting multiple desktops really easily, just with a 2-finger swipe.
Yeah, the spaces. That's pretty useful.
But like gaming and stuff, I can't do anything like that. I can't have Skype open in a game, you know. So it's a bit trickier, but now it's a lot easier with the two monitors. And you guys can see my cable management. I'll go more into that later in a later picture.
And the other thing I want to also notice is I noticed is that your microphone is actually right in front of you as opposed to on the stand overarching on that right side of the desk.
Yep, I have I had my Samson Meteor mic on display, which was kind of just gathering dust, so I put it back in the box. But I have this table stand, which is a perfect size, which can either go, if you guys see, like right to the left where the A2 speaker is, I can, on the left side, I can put it right there if I don't need it right in front of me, if I'm just doing Skype or something. Or I can move it right here, and I'm tall enough where I can see over it onto the monitor. So it's really quite easy. It doesn't block my view at all. So it's a really, really simple setup of how it is. And yeah, so you guys can see on the right there, I just have my G500 mouse and my Apple mouse.
Very cool. So,
pretty cool. Next picture, that's just kind of a little more overview on the left side. You guys can see my Blu-rays and PS4 kind of collection there. Which hopefully is going to be grown into a PS Vita collection maybe a little bit later this year, which would be kind of cool. And another view on the next picture is just kind of another view off to the left as where the mic could be if I'm just on Skype or something. But yeah, so that's kind of my day-to-day setup, and I use it a lot.
So I feel like, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like your wire management before you made the move was a lot better because behind the monitor you can kind of, I don't know what they are, like a surge protector or something like that.
No, it's actually what you're seeing there is all HDMI cables and stuff that I would need to remove easily. Like if I'm leaving to my dad's house per se, I need to grab my charger. So I don't want it to be down with all the other wires like managed through the whole system, so I don't have to take it all apart. So I just kind of have it back there. But I definitely want to get a Blue Lounge box, and that'll solve that problem 100% and definitely make it look a lot better. And a Blue Lounge box is pretty much what you can put all that stuff into and just kind of wire it through. So,
cool. Okay.
Yeah, so the next picture, that's the top of my hutch. This is just kind of a quick picture, just kind of my geek shelf. I just have boxes of bigger items that I put up there. You guys can see my MacBook box, PS4, V-Mode is in the back there, T3i. They're not in any specific order either, so yeah. So next picture, that's the kind of the right side of my desk of how I look. I have a Satechi desk mat, which is in orange, as you guys saw, and I just put all my devices on there. I have my cameras, the camera that I was taking the picture with, which is a T3i, and then I have the camcorder there, which is a Vixia HFR 400, my my LG G3, DSi, and Game Boy Advance SP. Those are kind of out there. I don't know. I like how they look. They're kind of like a classic console, I guess.
Do you actually have those things lined up like on a daily basis, or you just did it for the show?
I have the camera, my phone's lined up. I just put the DS and the Game Boy Advance. I kind of moved them from a different location for the show, but I think they'll stay there. It's pretty cool. Then I have a coaster there, just for a drink.
Because on my desk mat, I usually have my iPad and my two phones on there, but that's about it. So yeah, it's similar concept, you know, kind of like a little display on your mat.
Yeah, and nothing that I just put stuff that I don't want to like scratch up the desk any more than I already have. Yeah. So
it's a really useful mat.
Yeah. And down to the left there, you guys can see some wires dangling. I actually fixed those. I noticed that in the other pictures. So I fixed those because they fell off the adhesive. So yeah. So next picture. So this is right above my monitor. You guys might have seen a little sneak preview of this before. So this is kind of an interesting thing. So up there, I have not only some magazines, which are all my Game Informers, and some books, but off to the right, I have a mixer, which is the Behringer 302, Xenix 302 mixer. I'm sure if you Google that, you can find it on Amazon. So that's my audio mixer. And then I also have my router there, which hardwires all my systems from my Mac to my PS4 And yeah, so I actually drilled a hole with a punch through the shelf of the desk, and I wired everything down through. And I did that a while ago, but I didn't make use of it. But yeah, so that's a really easy way to get that stuff up and out of the way, because that stuff has a lot of wires coming out of it. And yeah.
Well, yeah,
So
those two devices between the network stuff and the interface, those have a lot of wires. So those, good thing you bundled them together and they're kind of hidden in that little cubby hole. Because
yeah, I don't really notice them as much. And also, if I ever do need to adjust some audio levels, it's actually just right. I just have to reach over my monitor, so it's pretty easy. And they're not really the best looking things to display, so I just kind of put them in there.
you used to have the interface out on the open side of your desk, and that was
Yeah.
a big cause of wire mess.
Yeah, for sure. And even more so with the router, because it has 5 wires coming out of the back of the thing with the power, the input, Ethernet, and then 3 devices or 2 devices
Yeah.
coming out of the back. So yeah. So next picture, that's kind of a close up of how I did it. You guys can just see. It's just a simple punch in the back.
Did you use
Yeah.
power tools to make that drill?
I did.
No power tools, Dale.
So much room for activities. No, but yeah, so you guys can just see how I just looped everything through. And I was actually surprised. Some people might also be surprised fitting all those like the bigger ends, like you have the XLR and the several Ethernet ends. Just go one by one, and they will always fit through the hole.
Yeah.
That's what she said. But yeah, so next picture. So I believe this is my last picture that I wanted to show you guys on my desk. So that's kind of the best that I can get it right now for where everything's located. So all those power wires that you guys couldn't see out of the back, other than my Mac one that you saw behind the monitor, that's all bundled into a neoprene sleeve. And that wire on the top, that's actually my keyboard wire. I use these things that Rich got me. I don't have any extras out right now, but they're like little circle things, and they just hold up a wire. They kind of like position it where you want it to, and I have those running underneath my desk and then down the side, so it holds the wire where it needs to go. So it's really handy. And then there's my printer there under my desk, and the 2 cords off to the left. One is that sharp monitor that you guys saw, the right monitor on my desk. It doesn't have a long enough cord to reach all the way through. And yeah, that right one is just the Belkin power surge protector plug. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty organized. It could definitely be a lot worse, and I've seen it a lot worse.
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot worse. I mean, geez. But I see. I like that power protector because you can angle the weight some of the on both sides.
Well, yeah, you can see me using that right there with that printer wire. Because if I just had it up, it'd just be like kind of all over the place. But it's kind of flush on the ground.
Yeah. But even like if you have
yeah.
the big power bricks, which is what a lot of things have, especially printers. I'm surprised it has a regular thing. You can angle it so it's not in the way of the next plug and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's so annoying, especially with cable, like the little cable boxes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The small ones. Those have like these huge things and they put them in the wrong way. You know, it's like, make it so it goes down the whole surge protector. It's like, no, we make it so it goes off the surge protector. But you know, they don't think that far. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of some setup changes I've done. You guys can see the tape down there that's holding up my LEDs.
The LEDs is something you got to work on because that's a complete utter mess.
Well, no, it's not that bad under the desk. It's just that the white dongle thing that you need to have in sight so that you can use the thing.
The IR, yeah.
And those pieces of tape actually aren't connecting anything. I just need to remove them.
Okay. Well, last time I saw the lights, they were kind of like.
I actually went underneath and taped them flush down to the desk.
Oh, okay, so you improved that.
So they're
as well.
not just like. Yeah.
Very cool.
But yeah, so that kind of wraps up my setup. That's my desk setup. If you guys saw, I don't know if you're able to go back a little bit to the picture with my desk mat.
Yes.
Off to the right there, that messy table. That is, I can clean that off, and that's actually how I do some of my newer videos. If you guys saw my headphone video, I actually just took printing paper, and there's no white table that I own. It's just printing paper there and some editing to make it look good. So yeah, that's what I use for kind of my filming setup. If I do unboxings, you guys will see that there. And that now that I clean that off, I have a lot more room.
Yeah, I told him, that table would be perfect, like an unboxing table, just a table to do videos on, to showcase certain products and stuff. And if he just got like some kind of white mat or cloth or something like that.
And I made it look pretty good. I mean, with 3 pieces of printing paper and the white wall behind it, and I even used my MacBook box at one point, which is only in 2 shots. It looks pretty decent. For being on a no budget.
Yeah, I didn't realize you only use like a couple pieces of paper. I mean, when you told me, I did see the seams between them, but if I didn't pay attention,
it's because I pointed them out. I was like, yeah, I had to tape the seams.
Yeah, that's the only reason I noticed, because I was looking for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome. So do you feel like that the way you have your set up now is much better than how it used to be, not just a week ago, but also compared to last year?
Oh yeah, definitely. I obviously have a lot more peripherals, which make it a lot more of an enjoyable experience to use my setup. But yeah, I mean, this is probably as far as I'll take it. If I ever do get another monitor, then I'll rethink the setup a little bit more.
So what?
Yeah.
So what are the future, like in the next year? What do you think, component wise, or just moving things around? What do you think would be some changes for next year?
Well, next year's room tour will be at college. I won't be here, so you guys won't see this at all. This will just probably be empty. I'm like pretty much I'm taking the necessities, so I'm gonna leave like a couple things. Like obviously I won't bring my router or whatever. But yeah, I'll bring my laptop, my A2s, and the monitor. That's probably it. And my PS4.
The bare essentials.
Yeah, pretty much just my basic setup. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I'll be taking with me. So you guys won't see this.
And the thing that's kind of annoying, but at the same time kind of exciting, is you don't know how that dorm is going to look. Is you going to have just a regular piece of shit desk or some elaborate layout?
I was actually looking at a new desk today. That I found that they released at CES. It's by not GT Omega, DX Racer.
Okay.
They made a desk, and it's really cool. It's like a plain desk, pretty plain, but on the back they actually have like a big pull down thing where you can put all your cables out the back of the desk, and it hides them all. And it also has all these wire management things inside the desk.
Oh, nice.
So it's really cool. I'll have to check it out. Maybe I'll pick it up like when I'm there. I'll have it like I'll go to a store there or something, or I'll just order it and then drive it. But yeah, maybe I'll get some sort of desk like that, or maybe an IKEA desk, depending where I'm at.
Well, I feel like most dorms they supply a desk.
Have a
You don't have to
desk,
buy one, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's good because they supply it. But it's usually a piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's depending. A couple of my colleges, I told you this before, but I don't think I've told anyone in the show. A couple of my colleges, they actually give me a 24-hour access private studio, which would be pretty cool.
Nice.
So that would be kind of a cool tour.
You can shoot your own unboxing stuff and like that, and your
yeah, and then I'll get like booted from college. They're like, you're not using this
by
properly.
YouTube.
But no, I mean, if they give me like a 24-hour access thing, I probably won't even like go to my dorm that often.
Yeah.
You know, I'll just hang out there until I have to go.
So, that's cool. So say goodbye to Matt's room and set up as you know it, because it'll be the last time. You'll probably be moving in, I guess, late August or early September. So you still got 9 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
8 months.
But yeah, well, I mean, obviously, I'll still be doing videos and stuff like that, and hopefully I'm traveling a little bit this summer and early spring, so I have a couple of trips.
Pretty nice.
Pretty good.
So, is there anything else you want to add before we move on to my setup?
No, I do.
Okay, proceed. Go. So, let's talk about my setup. Oh, let's talk about my setup. All right. So, here's the first picture. This is the overall desk setup with my triple monitors. I got the hutch, as you can see, behind it. And if you saw my previous home office tour, it's a big change because the desk layout is completely different. It's in the corner as opposed to it being against the wall and out in the middle of the room, which is how I used to have it. And I loved it like that because I had my monitors. I had two monitors at the time. And then on this side, straight ahead of me, I had my TV. So it basically was like monitor, huge ass screen TV. And it was perfect. You know, I loved it. A couple of caveats though, I gotta say, because obviously I had less room to deal with. I was against my window, that portion right there. And I was really restricted in terms of how I could move. Obviously, I couldn't have even a second person in the room. There was no room for a second chair. So it was, you know, it was a little bit of a sacrifice to have it that way. But I figured in the long run, having it the way I have it now would pay off much better. And it did, because I was able to add more stuff to my desk and my room in general. And I actually have more room to work with. I could have 2 or 3 people behind me. So
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, your room's about half the size of my room. And you have a lot of furniture in there already, which you guys can see behind Rich. He has he has a TV behind him and another shelf and another side table. And he has quite a bit of room in there. Or at least it appears through the pictures. That he can move.
I have more
around.
room for activities.
Yeah, exactly. You're building bunk beds, man. You're building bunk beds. But no, definitely looks nice over the years because I mean, your first setup tour, it was kind of like the mirrored image of this desk here without the hutch. It was up against the other wall, and it was really basic. It was like a little bit more minimalistic than my setup.
It was a basic bitch, right?
Yeah, and you know, I'm just a setup wizard, and I just no, but I'm trying to get Rich to move his TV to the other side of the room.
Yeah, he wanted me to put the TV where this is right there, but I feel like it would be too cluttered on this side of the room, and there wouldn't be enough on this side. But I did contemplate it, but I decided not to.
Anyway, you're moving soon, so it doesn't
I don't know about
matter.
soon, but eventually I will be moving.
Hopefully
to a new place, so hopefully my room would be bigger that I have to work with, but I'll talk about that later on at the tail end of this explanation stuff. So let's talk about what's new. As you can see, I have the triple monitors, and the extra monitors are Thunderbolt displays, 27-inch IPS 2560 by 1440. And the middle monitor is actually an iMac. It's a 2013 model iMac, one of the thin models, so it's really beastly. And it runs all the 3 monitors all at the same resolution. As you can see, the monitor behind me, the AOC, I forget the model number exactly, that was my secondary monitor. And I loved it, honestly. It looked kind of like a Mac, like an iMac, you know. It got it as close to a Mac-looking product as possible, which is hard to find. But the only problem is it sat a lot lower than my iMac, plus it was only 1080p. So when I would run a window from my iMac over to this secondary display, it would just blow up, obviously, because it was to scale. So it just annoyed the hell out of me. And I could only fit so much stuff on there. So with all these 3 being high-res IPS displays, awesome. I love them. All symmetrical. Gotta love it. Now the speakers, as you know, as you saw before, I sold Matt my A2s, the Audio Engine A2s. Love them. I mean, they were perfect for what I had to work with because I couldn't get any. When I got those, I was deciding whether to get the A2s or the A5 Pluses, which I currently have. The A5s would not have worked because I could not see my monitor the way my setup was. Now that
And you thought they were even smaller than what they are.
They are absolutely ginormous. I mean, I don't think they even do justice in the pictures. They are huge. And I knew how big they were. I did measuring, and you need to have the room for them, for sure.
Didn't hit you until you got them in the package.
Oh, dude, when I opened it up and I was like, I was trying to place them, I was like, holy shit, they're like halfway into my desk. But yeah, now that I have my desk the way I have them, I decided to just upgrade to what I really wanted. And obviously I got the white ones, they're gorgeous. I wish I got the A2s in white because Matt would have then prospered with the white ones as well. But either way, yeah, and I have the matte over there like Matt has, except it's a white matte, obviously. And behind that, Matt, on the left side, I have the a docking station for my excuse me, for my iPhone
12
12
South
South High Rise.
Rise. Yep.
I absolutely love that thing. And they make them in black now. It used to be just aluminum, but it's really cool.
They really improved their products because before it was actually just the display stand. It didn't even have like a charging capability.
Oh, it could charge.
The original one? Like the very original one? Oh. But now it's like you can supply your own cable and everything. It looks nice.
Definitely. So, what else is there? So, as you can see, the hutch, it's always been there. I love the hutch. It just, to me, it completes this desk. Because it's such a huge ass desk that without the hutch, it looks a little empty. You know?
Yeah.
Matt has the hutch for his desk, and you like it as well, right?
Yeah, it's nice. Obviously my desk is like the little brother of Rich's desk, I guess. So it's a bit smaller. But overall, it definitely adds a lot more space because if I were to have to try to store all this stuff that's in the hutch somewhere else, it would take up a lot more room.
And
that's why like New York City, they went vertical, you know, they can't expand.
That's funny because that's the exact same reason why I got mine, because I can only have so much in here, so I had to build up, and that's why I got this bookshelf as well. So there's a lot of truth to that. But yeah, so the hutch is useful because you get to display stuff. As you can see, I have some baseballs. I have my hard drive, my external hard drive, network drive. And also, you can't really see in there, but I have a networking router, one of my old time capsules in there. And I also have my Focusrite Scarlett, which is my microphone XLR interface. And that obviously has a lot of wires to it as well. So it's nicely tucked in there. And behind there is actually a slit, which I can run all the wires through. So they don't show at all. And I love that. Even if you illuminate if I have like LEDs running underneath there, which I used to, you still wouldn't see the wires, which is absolutely awesome. So I highly recommend it.
Nice.
But yeah, so let's move on to the next, because I'm going to talk about some of the stuff later on. So let's talk about the next picture, which is on top of the hutch. As you can see, I have two lamps up there, which is a little bit of a change. I used to have just one, but I'll talk about why I moved them later on. So I have the pictures, some of the boxes up there of my consoles and stuff, just a little, display like Matt has. I was contemplating just taking them down because in my first video with this desk, I had nothing up there. And I kind of liked how that looked. But at the same time, I don't have any place to store the boxes and I want to keep them. So I don't know.
In case you ever resell.
Not even that. I just like to have them just for... Because I regret throwing out like my old console box, like the original Xbox. I had it for the longest until I had to get rid of it because it was huge. But what do you guys think? Do you think I should get rid of the boxes up there? I'll listen to you guys because honestly, I'm kind of like on the fence about it either way. But for now, I just kept it up there. And I used to have a lot more shit up there, but I put them in the closet whenever I could fit.
Is that a 99 World Series pennant?
Yes, it is, actually.
That is the ugliest World Series pennant.
Well...
That's 99.
You can tell the 90s pennants from the 2000s.
Is there like pastel purple and like green on that thing? That's a pastel green.
Well, it's actually a neon green, but yeah.
But yeah, you can tell that's
99. Good call on that one.
Yep.
So
I'm like, that is the ugliest pennant I've ever. That's why it's in the back.
Actually, if I had my 96 one out, it would be even uglier. But yeah, just take my.
It's like those 90s cups that you always got.
Yeah.
Like the zigzag.
Exactly. Not exactly the best in design back then. But yeah, you can see a little bit more of my hutch, some of the components I have in there. So next picture. This is my TV setup, which is behind me. So
Bill Plash.
Yes, Bill Plash. It's a little bit of a dark picture, but my next one, I'm going to talk about the components on the bottom. But as you can see, I have a 50-inch plasma TV. That's new for actually not from last year, the year before that. Love the display. It's great for gaming, great for Blu-ray watching and TV watching and all that stuff. And as you can see, I put my LED lights that I used to have in my hutch, I put them around my TV for ambient lighting over there. So I think that's a better use for it. Because I have too much stuff here that the lights would kind of be useless behind my hutch now. So that's that. And the next picture you can actually see the components under my TV and the TV stand. So I have obviously my cable box, my network switch right there. On the bottom left, I have the AV receiver, which has a ton of inputs and stuff. And on the top right, obviously Day One Xbox and the PS4 in white on the bottom. And as you can see, I did a lot of work with the wires in this because I kind of neglected it. Wow, I can't even say it. I kind of didn't touch it for a while. So, because honestly, it's pretty dark over there, so I didn't really care to bother. But before I did my recent home office tour, I went there and I actually, if you can see behind that middle bar, behind it, I have the sleeve that Matt has, and I put all the wires in that one sleeve, so you can't see it at all. And I think I'm pretty proud of that because it's all out in the open if you actually go in and look. But if you're sitting in my chair, you can't see it anyway back there.
I feel like definitely the biggest thing that I like that you've improved. You didn't shove your front left and right speakers underneath your setup.
Yeah,
here.
well,
I was like, what is this?
So the reason for that is I wanted to keep the TV as far right as possible because that was more the middle of the room. But I decided to move a little bit left, ever so slightly, and spread out the speakers a little bit, so it looks a little less cluttered. I do agree. I tried to make a little medium ground there because
well, like, you know what I'm talking about though. Like underneath the PS4, you had your front.
Those are a long
back
time
in the
ago.
day.
Oh yeah.
You remember that? I was so confused as to why they were down there.
Well,
I was like,
back then,
quality.
I didn't really have much wire. I recently bought a big thing of speaker wire, so now I can run it across the room. But I was just lazy with that. But thanks for calling me out on that one.
Well, no, I was like, what the frick is he doing? No, because you literally shoved them like back underneath like where the PS4 is. So
it was actually underneath where the carpet is.
That's what I'm saying, like way down underneath, like below the PS4.
Yeah, well, no more of that, so don't have to worry about that.
And I'm guessing, is that the Xbox One brick down there that you can see the light of?
It's actually, I had to unplug it recently because there was a surge, but usually it's all the way back. I just forgot to take it back. But anyway, moving on, you can see...
Next picture.
You can see that I have this little shelving unit. So I have a lot of older consoles here. The Xbox One, GameCube, Super Nintendo, and the new edition. I used to have the Super Nintendo all the way at the bottom one, but now there I have my external hard drive for my Xbox One and my Astro A50s, which I got for Christmas.
Yeah.
So I think that's a nice little cubby hole to put that kind of tucked out of the way. But at the very bottom, I have the same surge protector that Matt has with the swiveling pivots from Belkin. Really awesome.
Yeah.
It's nicely, managed, so it's not a big clump of wires, even though it's kind of out.
Now, can we touch on something real quick? Okay, so you have the external hard drive for the Xbox, and yesterday I just thought of this as I was thinking. So they announced the external, like the onboard PS4 external hard drive that like clasps onto the PS4. How is that connecting? Is that via USB? I feel like
honestly,
it is.
I don't know.
And if it's via USB, that means that Sony has to be coming out with some sort of firmware. Because you can't. I don't think they're gonna make you take the faceplate off and then like hardwire it in.
I think you would have to take the faceplate. Honestly, I don't know. I have no idea.
Because like, I think Sony should just allow it via USB.
It's weird because I kind of prefer it. I definitely prefer it internal because it's just one unit. You have to worry about external. But I wish both of them, the Xbox and the PS4, give the option to do both. Why is that so wrong? Yeah. It's weird that one does only external, one only does internal.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly, but it is what it is. It's gaming these days,
Yeah.
So, was there something else?
And that's from the Real Space line, that shelf.
Actually, no, that is from IKEA. That's the only piece from IKEA in this room. So
it's very similar. So that's probably why.
Yeah. Well, actually, I had that before all this desk. I've had this since my first setup tour. If you go back and watch that, I've had that for the longest. I used to have my modem in there, my router, and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So that's
because didn't you have that behind you?
I did. Where this
Yeah. That
bookshelf
like
was.
last year,
A couple years, yeah, that and
year and a
it's
half
moved
ago.
around. Honestly, I used to have that even in the living room
It's been
for a
around.
while, so it's been around the house. So
Yes, ha.
the
All right. Back to real
back to
space
real
territory.
space. So the other thing I want to make notice is that book that's on the Super Nintendo, the N64 level. That's an awesome book. I kind of mentioned it in my home office tour. It's a huge book and it goes through the history of Apple products and it has really nice high res pictures of everything. It's totally
Did you get that
no.
for
I've had
Christmas?
that for a while now, like 6 months or something like that. Really awesome book. It's a little pricey, it's $60, but if you're an Apple fanboy or just fan,
It's hardcover.
yeah, it's an awesome.
Hardcover, full
Yeah,
color.
it's huge
kind
too.
of.
It's a coffee table book. So
Yo, if I ever come to your house, I'll bring one of my cookbooks I have. It was $180, and it literally talks about how to cook pork.
all wow, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and you guys like pork and steak. It actually has steak in there too.
Ooh,
Tells you how to make it the most tender and different ways of cooking it and stuff like
awesome.
that. So
That's right up my alley.
pretty
So,
awesome. Yeah, I'll start you after
very
the show.
cool. So let's move on to my next picture, which is actually what's on this side of the room. So you have the bookshelf and the little I don't know what I call it, honestly. I think it's just a PC station that I call it. It has my old Mac Pro and my old AOC
Yep.
monitor on it. And honestly, I just use it for display purposes now. I like to have the Apple Abarask, whatever they call it, screensaver going
Yeah.
on it. You know, for some abstract lights, fancy. I love lights just
Yep.
flickering. And you know, I used to actually run a Minecraft server on there. Matt and I used to play on there for a while, but that went down, and it's not honestly, it's not being used. And I don't want to sell it because I'm not going to get much for it. So it's kind of like I'm holding on to it till I move out, where I'll actually be able to have a secondary setup, like kind of what Chris Perillo has. He has his office with his main setup, and off on the side he has a desk with like a secondary older computer. So I'll save that for that kind of thing. Or if I have a secondary office for Kelly, she can use that. You know.
I think if I get my own apartment after college, I'll actually buy a bunch of these shells, and I want to do that thing that people do when they cut like nice glass, put some rubber feet on them, and then they set it over the MacBook Pros, and it makes a really nice looking
Does,
table.
yeah. I've seen those.
And that'd be kind of a cool.
I think
Cool
that
thing.
guy, what's his name? Tybox. He has one of those tables.
Yeah.
Really neat.
Yep.
Awesome.
And it's pretty easy
yeah.
to make. All you need to do is find a glass cutter, like someone who cuts glass,
Yeah.
obviously.
Or just
not-
buy a piece of glass already made if you want to spend a little bit more
Yeah.
money. But yeah, that's a. I don't want to gut this thing though, because it's actually a pretty good computer. You know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I just buy the shells. They're like
Oh
$30,
yeah.
$40.
And you can even buy the G5 iMac, Mac Pros. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because they didn't change. So,
So,
but yeah,
so yeah, in the actual bookshelf, I have my charging station for my Xbox and PS4 controllers. I have that's where I now sit my headphones. I took it off my hutch and I put it in there, a little easier to get to, and my old Yeti. And on top of that, I have my Tix clock, which I absolutely love, and my networking stuff on the right side. And above that, a couple of signed baseballs and my cologne collection. So that is that. But above
the cologne collection that he doesn't use except for 1 million and Aqua Digio.
No, I try
as
to-
Rich said.
I try to swap between them all, you know. But
Aqua
I don't know if you
Digio.
can see above it, but I have a G4 iMac, the swivel head one. Probably
Can't
yeah,
really
can't-
see it. It's behind the rich thing that his girlfriend made him that he mentions in every.
Actually, that's the first time I mentioned it. But yeah, I thought that was my favorite Apple design. That G4 iMac. It's just so unique, especially for the time. Just like a floating monitor. It's awesome.
Well, yeah, it's on like a double swivel.
Yeah,
arm,
and it's
right?
really good quality. Like it doesn't sag at all. Even to this day, it's like what 10 years old, and it's
Yeah, and it still starts up and
Oh,
boots, right?
honestly, I've turned it on. It goes online,
But it's slow
but
as
it
hell.
has a really old OS on it, and you can't upgrade it, so it's useless online.
Yeah, because it's power PC,
Yeah.
right?
So I think what's the oldest one you can have? It's like
We have an iMac G3, G4, G5, G5.
I think 10.5 is the highest you can put on this, or 10.4, something like that.
Which one is that? That's a G what?
G4.
okay, so yeah, we have the G5 where they went to the whatever it is, predecessor to the one that you have. Like before they went to the really thin aluminum
Yeah,
one, the
the white
plastic
one.
one. We have a PowerPC version of that.
That's a nice monitor.
We also have a black MacBook.
That's sick.
Pro.
I like because that is so rare because it was a MacBook, but the highest end MacBook, and for the price, you could have went for a MacBook Pro. So not a lot of people bought that black MacBook. So
Yeah.
that's a really rare thing. Hold on to that for sure.
Yeah, it's slow as
Well,
hell
yeah.
though. And the fans like
But for collector's item, that shit. Oh man, I can't even imagine. So
I'll probably just buy it off my mom's boyfriend. He doesn't even use it,
Really?
to be honest. It's just so slow. He just uses his phone now. His
he actually
iPhones.
used that until recently. Wow.
Yeah. We actually used it for iTunes. We use that as our display for our projector.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So that was kind of like that, but it's like, you don't even need that anymore.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go on to the next picture, which
Next
is of my
picture?
chair. So I
Boom.
love this chair. I mean, it's super comfortable. It's a little pricey. I mean, a little, but it's a lot pricey.
Yeah, it's like the average couch price, like leather couch price.
But it's the Herman Miller and body chair, and a lot of the tech people in like Detroit Borg and MKBHD, they got it. I think on Black Friday, it was a pretty decent sale on this for like $1,100, which is
yeah,
like $500 off from this chair. So that's a really good price. But
Yeah.
it's just so comfortable. Like my previous chair, I would get fatigued after sitting in it for a while, but this one, I can go all day just sitting in here, and I can adjust it every which way. If I wanted to really lean back, I just press a couple of things right there, and boom, I'm in a gaming position. And I have my
Boom.
hands right here because you can lift the arms completely up, which is what I usually do because I'm tall. And I could have the controller right here, just playing games.
yeah.
So
Yeah, because it's comfortable just having your arms at the right level. That's a definite thing that I would like to get. Like, but it's like, I'll just deal with it for another.
oh yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I don't like to be cheap on the chair because I'm a big guy, and buying cheap chairs just means it's gonna break after a couple months. Now, granted, I did buy a $250 chair on Amazon made for bigger guys, so that lasted me, but it just wasn't comfortable. You know, the
Yeah.
only problem I have with this chair is the neckline, so it doesn't really support your neck or your head. So
Yeah.
it's a little unfortunate for the money you're spending.
Did they offer one like an attachment or
No,
something?
so its older brother, the Herman Miller Arion chair, which is a really Aeron.
Yeah.
It's a 20-year-old chair, but it's still going strong. They actually sell
Oh, yeah.
third-party attachments that add on to it and support your neck, but they don't make something like that for this yet. Maybe down the road, but
See, I think that's a thing. Like with us being like 6'4" or 6'5" ish, you kind of have to have a high back chair, and mine doesn't even go near my shoulders. And I would find that it's nicer to have like the full support on your neck, like a car chair. You know, that's why I was looking into the DX.
oh, dude, if I could have my S4 chair as my computer chair, that would be amazing.
just mount it on a
That would
swivel.
be freaking awesome. Like, can you imagine if it was one of the they made a type of car where you could actually take your chair out of there and just like mount it onto some kind of pedestal?
But that's what they do at DX Racer. They buy like off-brand Sparco chairs, reupholstery them. But you can do that. You can order off. I'm sure you could order from Audi a chair.
It probably costs like
Car
$10,000, but yeah.
I don't know.
But
It would probably be like $3
if I
grand.
didn't get this chair, I would definitely get a DX Racer because it looks like something I would like and find
Yeah.
comfortable. But I don't think anything beats this in terms of comfort. It's up there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so the last picture I just want to talk about is my room with the Philips Hue in it. So as you can see, I just changed the colors. This is like a beach theme. It's hard to tell, but there's like a little bit of beige for the tan, like a beige beach tan color, and a little bit of blue, dark blue for a deeper ocean, lighter blue for like the shallower end. So it's just really cool to tinker around with the lights and stuff like that, and highly recommend it if anyone hasn't ever used the Philips Hue. I recently
Yeah.
just got a set for my living room, and it's I'm loving it already. So being able, I actually set it so that when I arrive home, it turns on the light that's closer to the entrance, so I could actually see when I'm coming, since it's dark at 3 o'clock now. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's pretty neat. And also, I have it set when I leave, it shuts off all the lights automatically. So,
Yeah, I noticed that when you left
oh
for
really? Did
Chinese
it?
food. I was like, because it like scared me. I thought someone was in your room. Because I just saw the lights turn off.
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
sick. Wait, so it
uh,
turned on when I got home?
yeah.
I guess for my phone, I guess I have it so my office turns on as well. Wow.
Yeah, because like your lights were off when you left. Like they were on for maybe a minute and then you left for a little while and then they turned off. And then when you walked in, they
Good to
came back
know it
on.
works. Awesome. So, one last thing, my future plans for my setup. Honestly, I don't really have too many plans for this setup. The only plan I really have is once I move out, hopefully I'll have a bigger room to work with, and I would love to have a couch in my room. Like a
Yeah. That's what I was that's like would be perfect. If I got like an apartment, I would want some other place to sit other than my chair,
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
exactly why. Like sometimes I just want to go to the living room and watch TV, reclined in a chair, and a couch. But like the way I would work it is have my desk the way I used to have it, like in the middle of the room, and then a couch in front of
On
on
the
the
other
other side
side.
with my TV in front of it. So
Mhm.
that would be an ideal setup for me, and I really wouldn't have to get anything else. It would just have to be the couch, which
Which is kind of whatever. You might
I
have
have
an
an extra
extra
one in
one.
storage, so it would work
Yeah.
perfectly. So that would be the only thing. I mean, I'm pretty much set for a while. The only other thing is down the road, a long time. If I upgraded this iMac, I would get a Mac Pro, and then I would get two
Yeah.
4K displays, and that's it. That's all I would need. So.
I would sell every monitor there though. If you're
Oh
going
yeah,
4K, it's like you're gonna have too many monitors laying
yeah. I mean,
around,
I try.
and those are like 800 a piece
Yeah, I mean, I
used.
try to recycle it. Obviously, I have the one behind me, so I can never have
Yeah,
enough monitors. But yeah, I think at a certain point you do.
I'm sure you could have
Yeah,
too many.
well, like the one I gave you, that was just sitting in my garage for like a year.
Yeah.
So that's that. But yeah, so I think we went over quite a bit of our setups. So uh,
Yep.
anything else you would like to mention?
I think that's it. I mean, I hope you guys did enjoy our room tours of this year. And I think Mike Yo hasn't seen ours yet, so you got to go
Yeah,
watch
bro.
that, Mike.
Come
Get on that, and I think you'll enjoy it. But yeah, I'm gonna probably not do one in the summer. This year, I'll wait until I get like new place.
Yeah,
You
that
know.
because the first year I was on doing YouTube videos, I did a winter and a summer tour, but now I just decided to do it once a year, and that's enough
Hmm.
because I don't even if I change it a lot, I feel like twice a year is too much, you know.
And to be honest, this is probably the last year I'm using this desk because I'm not gonna attempt to take it
Oh
apart and
yeah,
move
no,
it.
forget that.
So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't. It depends on where I go after college because I mean it'll be here for when I'm back in the summers, but other than that, be
You
kind of
should do a
whatever.
mini
You know.
room tour when you do move back for the summer, just like
Yeah.
show what it's like. But one thing I do want to mention is we are nearing the end of the giveaway that we're doing.
Yep.
I'm about 18 subscribers away from 850, which was a threshold of me giving away the Mophie juice pack. So if you haven't entered, be sure to enter. I'm thinking within the next week, I should be able to give that away.
Yeah, especially with the room tour, you'll probably
So
gain a
yeah,
few.
it's all you gotta do is subscribe to our channels and stuff like that. Just watch that giveaway video, click the link, and just do whatever it wants you to do. Sign your name away.
Yep.
But yeah, as long as you're within the United States, the continental United States, I will send it to you and you can enter and win, hopefully. So but yeah, just wanted to remind everyone because we haven't mentioned it in a while. But other than that, I think it was a great episode, and we'll be back next week.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and at Generation
Yes.
Tech or Gen Tech Podcast on Twitter. If you guys haven't followed us there, so you guys can see our updates on the show and daily tweets about tech stuff.
Tech. And it's CES, which I was kind of thinking about maybe doing a CES episode, but wasn't feeling it this year. There wasn't too much excitement. TVs and TVs.
4K. Oh look,
Yeah.
4K
I mean, we'll touch on it next week,
and Super
but
4K.
nothing
Yeah, maybe we'll go over some
that
things
stood out
next
to
week.
us.
So
But yeah, episode 30 next week, so that's cool. And but yeah, we'll see you guys next time, guys. Peace.
peace.